They recovered almost 400 kilos of meth, 54 kilos of fentanyl, that's tens of millions of doses, plus smaller amounts of MDMA and cocaine. And that's just the stuff that was ready, waiting to be shipped out. Investigators say this lab had enough source material on hand to potentially triple that output. The RCMP says they found about 5,000 liters of liquid precursor and 10 tons of powder, enough to continue to churn out meth and fentanyl for weeks, if not months, without having to restock.
A precursor is basically sort of like a building block of the final molecule.
But it wasn't just the existence or amount of precursor chemicals that startled the RCMP. It looks like they were actually making their own, which is a whole other level of expertise.
And of particular concern is the discovery of several tons of unregulated chemicals believed to be used to produce P2P.
P2P is one of those precursors we talked about. It's one of the base ingredients used to make meth. It is a heavily controlled substance, and because of that, it's hard to find. It's also hard to make.
The P2P manufacturing method has been the primary method used by Mexican cartels to produce methamphetamine for years.
The chemists we spoke to suspect that's what may have been going on inside this room here. You can see the network of metal ducting they installed, which looks like it's meant to channel fumes outside. Making P2P can create some seriously toxic gases.
This brought the level of sophistication of this operation to an unprecedented level, certainly in Western Canada, if not the entire country.
So the RCMP brought up that suspected connection to the Mexican cartel. They wouldn't go into much more detail about who else might be involved. So we asked someone who used to run the RCMP's transnational organized crime unit what he thought.
I'd be looking at the cartel networks, the Chinese networks, the Iranian networks, but whoever it is, looking at the quantity, that's a corporation, that's not gangs.
The RCMP was also clear that these drugs, for the most part, were headed for other countries.
If the cartels want to expand and operate to the new markets in the Asian Pacific area, Vancouver has the logistical infrastructure, i.e. ports, to access this new market, that they haven't really tapped into in the last several decades, i.e. Asian Pacific. 3 billion people